Hi everyone, welcome WIC channel. My name is Rifad. Just want to give a quick update before I kind of jump into the topic of this video. Kind of finally settled in, have my stuff set up. As you guys can see, I kind of have my place to do my videos and work, and also finally got my stuff. I would say after like almost a month and a half to 2 months of waiting time, and finally finished unpacking, placing it, and all the stuff that comes with when you move, right? So yeah, that was kind of a big exciting that happened. So it finally feels good to have a place that you can call home, I would say. So with that said, let's jump into the topic. So the topic of today was going to talk about a stock I spoke in the past. I kind of put also in a top pick. It's TheScore. And they recently released their quarterly earnings, and I thought it's kind of a good opportunity to kind of go through the earnings briefly, without diving too deep into details, and also finishing off, reserving more towards the end of my opinion, my outlook, and what I'm going to do with the stock, I would say. So let's jump into it, right? They released a couple of weeks ago. So a couple of days ago, the earnings, and they hovered close to 90 cents before the earnings came, and when the earnings came out, it dropped. And that also I'll give you reasons why it dropped, and I'm not surprised. And after I give you guys the reasons, you guys will kind of understand that too. They announced a couple of good things too. They announced their partnership with NBA, and also entering into the betting market of Colorado. That's kind of a good things they kind of put in, I would say. And this is kind of a news they released to cover the stuff that happened in the earnings, I would say, to not to overcloud, like I would say. So to sum it up, they had a good quarter because they launched their betting app. They had the agreement with Penn National Gaming. They appointed a new CFO, general counsel. So they kind of getting themselves on track and on goal, and doing all the key stuff overall. And also they were able to, just by the NFL season in New Jersey, they were able to handle, they call money transaction of 8.8 million on one quarter, which is very good. And that is also something very, very important. The user growth also year over year went up, so that's also something great. So all this is great news, I would say, and great positioning for themselves. With all that said, you're thinking, oh, this is all great news, it's going up, all the great stuff ahead, why did it drop? It's really basic, because even as per, I would say, you can overcloud all the great news. Every fundamentals at the end comes to a company is your earnings, and the earnings was something that really hit hard because they dropped. They went from 9.2 million. They went from 9.5, to 9.2 million. That was not expected, and they burned roughly. The EBITDA came as 4.8 compared to a million. So that's also another one. You burned more and you earn less. That's also really concerning. Even for me, because I'm like, okay, you're burning more money because you're funding your growth, which is normal, but I'm also expecting something return. I mean, not earnings to drop, which in this case happened. So people were really concerned on that matter. And especially and when we asked, like analysts, a couple of analysts asked us the reasons. They kept on saying it's a programmatic reasons, because people didn't buy. The main buyer didn't buy, but the direct buyers bought. And they kind of also told in a conference call that they were able to get Disney and I think a couple of other key players to buy ads, which is very important. So that's also good. But that kind of diverting still is how I wouldn't understand is as per, if I'm a person that's buying advertising and I see all this hype around betting and the app that's generating or over like I think 4.3 million if I'm not wrong, monthly active users. Yeah, 4.3 million monthly active users. That, why would I pull out? I would even buy more. So that's concerning, I would say. But I'm like, okay, they just didn't really answer that, which is tend to be a typical score way of doing stuff, vaguely answering stuff. which kind of was disappointing to me as a long-term holder and shareholder. I was expecting a bit more details in those facts, and they did not provide. So it dropped. I think it didn't drop that much. It came to the fair valuation because, with all in all, the company has huge growth ahead of them. I think they're just in the beginning of the market, unlocking to kind of have the full potential. So that's something to see, because I think initially, even just the first quarter, they were able to handle $8.8 million in betting money, and also they generated like around, I think, 200 and some $1,000 out of those eight. The revenue of 242,000 in revenue in that, and they still had a loss, but it's not a problem because I'm kind of expecting that also. I would say it's kind of concerning. So it comes back. I'm kind of also went on my opinion, I would say, giving a bit. Now I'm going more in depth. What I do with the stock, because waiting for this quarter, I was expecting more. It was a red flag on my point of view to see the earnings drop, which was really caught off surprise. It was not something I was expecting at all. I think a lot of people in the same investor field were not expecting that. So that's the reason it kind of dropped. And I'm also questioning myself, is what I do with the stock. Do I kind of cut off my position a bit to kind of limit any potential downfall, and to able to kind of and cash in, like, a limit amount of profit. So I'm kind of the dilemma. So I don't know what I will do per se. If you have any input, can tell me, like, oh yeah, I should do this. I'm always welcoming to kind of advice to see what I do, because I kind of like the company, and I think right now at this valuation is just fairly valued. I would say, to the potential growth that it has, and I think it's just really entering the market right now, and I think and they have all the key metrics and all the key elements to kind of push the growth. So I'm waiting to see. They're roughly around 2 years at their burn rate. They have around 2 years of funding secured, which gives them enough time to get a market share and maybe secure extra funding maybe next year or something like that. So that is reassuring in a way also, at the burn rate they're going, which I'm sure they'll be able to, hopefully they're able to get that under control also. So I don't know. Honestly, I'm kind of disappointed of the quarter, and honestly, I don't know what I'll do with the stock. I think right now, after putting all my things, I'm more lenient to the idea of maybe cutting down my position, and limiting my exposure to a potential downfall, because it is a red flag for me, and like that's bringing me extra caution to the next quarter, as we're seeing this could be like another downward trend. I don't know. So I'm more on, not on the gas, I'm more on the brake, I would say, in this time frame now. And so we'll see. I don't know if nobody wants to buy stocks of them. I would say hold off, honestly. They are pretty much fairly valued. You're not getting a bargain at this point. You're really hoping that they really execute on everything that what they say to kind of get that. I think there's other stocks out there that can maximize your value, and not necessarily this. But if you do insist on getting kind of market share, jumping into the betting markets, and stuff like that, I would say, if you don't mind putting money that like you don't mind kind of putting in and seeing what happens, I would go with that. But if you can opt to stay in the sidelines, I would think that's the better option. But if not, on my end, I'm still on the dilemma as what I will do. So I'm honestly, just to recap, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm just hoping maybe next quarter they'll be able to kind of recap and restructure and maybe come back the growth that you are supposed to get, and everything, because I don't understand how come your revenue can drop when you have hype around your application and the hype on what you're doing, the industry you're in. So that's really concerning. So anyways, so that's about it for this video. I don't repeat over and over again what I'm saying. So anyways, drop a comment down below. I would love to hear from you guys, your thoughts, or any other stocks you guys are watching, or any advice you guys want. I would gladly try to share as much as I can, and much as my knowledge, I would say, or learn from you guys. As always, I'm welcoming that. So, and also subscribe if you guys don't subscribe, like if you guys like the video. So thank you very much for watching, and have yourself a wonderful day. Whoosh.